have a mechanism, or should I create a mechanism for you? Because I think you should be honest enough and tell me, Gloria, that you guys don't have a mechanism, and it is okay, me as Andrew Kibe, to create a mechanism for you. That I think would work faster than you guys just saying, just go with them. Go with them. How? I mean, what's the mechanism, Gloria?
That's why I'm saying you are imagining that people are not creating a mechanism. As Kibe, if you want to add to another mechanism, it's welcome. People, there's a chat GPT on looking at corruption cases about individuals in power. And people are writing petitions. How many petitions so far do you know right now that are in court since this reject bill began? There are people collecting signatures to have their MPs recalled. So you are here imagining that people are not doing anything, that they're just talking. No, people are talking and acting. And even those who are just talking, even discourse is important. Ideas are important. So you as Kibe, if you want to do something about it, you are welcome to do it. You do it and tell us, this is the mechanism that I've come up with. We discuss it, we see, yeah, it can work. And then people go with it. But things are in place, things are working. We are the ones sitting here imagining that people are not doing anything. People are doing something about their situation. People are doing something. Right now, doctors are occupying MOH, interns who've not been for over 2 years. They have not begun their internship, meaning they have no license. You could even tell them, oh, you can go and work in a private hospital. Without internship, they don't have licenses to practice as doctors. So everyone in their own...
Hold up, Gloria. Because now we're down now to discussing the issues, and which is what I'm trying to run away from. So JN, you came running. Gloria, just mute your mic for a second. But you make a good point when you said that anybody should start whatever it is they want to start, go ahead with it, and you don't have to even tell people about it. Just present it when you're done. That's a fucking good point. JN, go ahead.
Hey bro, kaje?
Fiti, what's up?
Hello. Nacheki, huku tangu post na Clarity bado watu wanat. Kwani hamtaki kunat? Bro, hii story ya nini, I think penye wewe unasema, I think you are the guy, I think. See, I'm thinking you're the guy. So, sijui mbona tunadilidali. Unatuuliza hiyo swali, na mimi nimekubali kuijibu. You are the guy basi. So, form ni gani sasa tuambie?
Where's my crown? And you know, Gloria, Gloria, let me put it to you this way. If you see someone like Ronaldo or Michael Jordan, when you see them, they are the ones who are given the ball when there's a lot of pressure, because they have learned how to handle the pressure. Okay? Everybody can shoot, but not everybody can shoot when it's pressure time, when there's pressure, when there's 3 seconds on the clock, when you need to say the right thing. Not everybody can do that. So that's why, for me, it is more important to not focus on the issues, but focus on the ones who are going to drive the issues. These are the people who are important. They are super important. The same way Ruto is important, the same way Raila is important. Now, hold on, Jayan. Yeah, the same way, any of these people, the same way Messi is important. That's how important a leader is. So, Gen Z, if you're listening to me, start to cultivate, at least even do interviews. Okay? At least even start to have that conversation, because at some point, it has to be real. Yes, the fantasy is that you remain leaderless. That's a good fantasy, but at some point, it has to be real, because there are issues that need to be dealt with. And these issues come up on a daily basis. And Gen Z now have said, we have a constituency that cannot be ignored. So yes, it sounds good and everything, but eventually you will need to come up and say, hey, let's start to do our vetting. Let's vet the people who are going to represent us. Is it in parliament? Is it in MCA level? Is it in the parastatals? How many seats are we getting on the table? Such kind of real conversations. Because you cannot go around chasing people like Osama. Osama is going to give you very puny issues to deal with. You guys will be dealing with puny issues on a daily basis, chasing your tail, chasing nonsense issues. Hey, wale makaraus mama pale nje ya nini, au makarao wametusumbua sana. That time you're telling that to the president. Something that can be dealt by the OCS through that guy who likes the hogging the mic. Brian Ngudi Juma, you have something for me?
Yeah, Kibe VP. Now, let's. I think the best place to look at when you are facing such issues, or whenever there's a crisis, the number one place to look at is in the mirror. Like this piece of crap bill, it was passed by MPs who we voted for. So to some extent, we are the contributor to this mess. In fact, some of the MPs were claiming that they voted for this bill without reading it. They signed on it without reading it. So we went and put in power an individual who is so deficient in due diligence that is ready to pass a document without. Imagine you are given like a 50 or 40-page document that is going to determine your life, and you have the audacity to sign it on without reading it. Those are the people we voted for. Now, enough of the issues. I've always said Gen Zs, I take them as the tech-savvy guys of our generation. Now, if I were in their position, because now I think they are more tech-savvy than me, they would set up a platform, an AI-based platform that goes from presidential, MP level, senator, and for you to be considered, you have to get on that platform. The platform has been keyed in with certain specific characteristics that are required for the job, plus AI, lie detection, characteristic detection, analysis, nini. Use some very disruptive method such that if a leader does not show up on that platform, you see it's a live thing that runs throughout and you book a slot. If a leader does not take part in that live session, which is online, that leader is out. That means the Generation Z are taking part in the vetting. It's like during the hiring process of an individual, your hiring process is so screwed up. Then you start making noise when the person is already on payroll, he's drawing resources from the company, he's doing shit. So the Gen Z have to be tech savvy. They have to bring in highly disruptive means of vetting. It is where the vetting goes wrong. These people didn't shoot their way into these positions. We stood there and we fought over them. We took Shilingi Miami and whatnot, and we allowed them in. We allowed characters who didn't have the balls to tell the president, he bill wrong. And when the president accented and said, okay, Gen Z wamezusha tubadilishe, the same MPs were clapping again. We put them there. So let us start by looking at the mirror and look at that vetting aspect. And I've said this, let the Gen Zs bring in their tech savviness. I would suggest some sort of AI system whereby any candidate, you present yourself at a certain slot, you give your whatever Serazako, and the AI system will be vetting you, will be looking at your statements, looking at your facial recognition. There will be a database that is looking at your past transgressions, kama ulikuwa mwizi wa kuku nini, what not it. And within a short time, we've somehow, I'm not saying it's going to work 100%, but we'll somehow weed down the number of crazy people getting into parliament. Look at this guy from Embu. I don't know if he's from Embu or from where. This guy opens his mouth. Even the people of Embu are shocked. They don't know how did this kangaroo get into that seat? So, gentlemen, let's look in the mirror, because at the end of the day, these people are a reflection of us. So, my appeal to the Gen Z now, bring in your tech savviness. We the millennials, we fucked up tangu kitambo. So show us what you can do. Be disruptive. That's my only contribution. Thank you so much.
All right, go ahead. Thank you, Juma Maski. What do you want to say? And let's start to close it up now. So give me your final submissions as well.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. I hope you can hear me. You can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Darius, graduate to be from KU. My submission is, currently we are in an amorphous form. We are the Gen Z, slimy, unflowing, and formless. Now, there's a question I wanted to ask all of us. Do you know why most of these successful maybe career people, they hire career managers, they set clear goals, and then they ask these people to coach them through until they achieve whatever they have put down? I'm saying this with relation to we, the Gen Zs, not having leadership. I'm beginning to see that as a challenge. A few minutes ago, I heard Gloria talk of her pushing, for example, contributing to a hashtag that resonates with her. I have been a student leader throughout campus, and therefore I can notice a lie when I see it, for example, in the mainstream media and everything. All these hashtags, there is somebody always pushing a certain hashtag. Why? Because it resonates with them differently. Just because a hashtag does not resonate with you doesn't mean it doesn't resonate to another person. Currently, I've seen them trying to push something about a gay something. I mean, trying to say that we are trying to advocate for the gay bullshit. That one, for example, let's say there's a parent on X who is saying that. For me, because I understand the reason behind the push for the Ruto must go, the Occupy Parliament and everything, I would assume it. But then there is a parent who will see the gay Z stuff and they'll be like, I don't want to see my kids on the streets because the whole idea is changing. Politics is about illusion, and these people they'll use all means to deflate our campaign for better change in this country. Another thing I heard James Karwe talk about conflict of interest. I want to support him in this because that bill was passed when we were so busy with the Reject Finance Bill thing that we were not able to actually look into it. I mean, so that Kenyans never had time to look into it and then discuss it. For example, when he talked of politicians buying land and then diverting government projects, and then he said he supports a certain quarter of government, I want to remind him that quarter of government, they're the same people who bought land in Narok during the SGR era. They rushed, they didn't know which direction SGR was taking. They bought land in Narok and then it was diverted to Naivasha. During the Africa Climate Summit last year, the catering that was done there was done by a certain hotel, Ikoapa Wilson Airport. It is owned by some individuals from government also. They are already working despite the whole conflict of interest bill being in place. And so these people, they are looking for ways of sanitizing maybe the proceeds that they have already received. So I want to request us to be very wary of the side that we expose to politicians. For example, Gloria, I have seen you sometimes kind of get emotional, and if somebody realizes that about you, they'll exploit you badly. So coming to the solutions, for me, I would want to request us, all of us, to try and use the constitutional methods. So far, the only thing that we have taken from the Constitution is the expression, the article that allows us to express ourselves. But then, now, there are other articles which are very critical when it comes to leadership and governance. For example, right now, let me take us back to the politicians when they were voting for the finance bill. Some of them would say they voted because of their loyalty to the party. They voted due to their loyalty to the party leadership. So, if the secret is the party, why don't we form a Gen Z party? If the party is the organ that whips these people towards one side, why can't we form our own party? That's my question. Another thing, we have invested so much in blaming the voters, blaming ourselves. Let me ask you, if the voters wouldn't have voted, we wouldn't have had an election. Either way, when there is an election, there must be somebody who will be voted for. For example, the last time we voted, we thought that the current regime had the best manifesto, but then they turned against us. We are not the problem. The problem is the people who come to us. That is why I feel, as we are pushing for IEBC to be reconstituted, we should also have stringent measures to ensure that the people who are going to be allowed to vie, they will be people who can bring change. There are people who are of sound mind to begin with. Because in some scenarios you get that there is, okay, sometimes people say we elected so and so because there was no any alternative. A better person to vote for. Another thing, we have refused to have Gen Z leaders simply because they can be corrupted in courts. Just a minute. If we cannot hold our very own accountable, for example, let's say you front me today as a leader. If you can't hold me accountable, how are you going to hold the government accountable? It's not possible. It's difficult. Therefore, I'm requesting all of us to go back to the drawing board and relook this from a different angle so that we come up with something that cannot be deflated. We need leaders who will help us. We can make a lot of noise on X, these people discussing this, the other group discussing that, but then we need people who will bring all this together and harmonize it in a way that it will point us towards a common goal. That's from me. That's my submission.
All right. Thank you, Maski. Kelvin Juma, are you there? And try and keep your submissions to like below a minute. Huh? Kelvin Juma, are you there?
Yes. To me, I think that tulikuwa tunasema ya kwamba mimi ni Gen Z kitu ya kwanza, na nimeona maoni yenu na watu wengi wameongea sana. So mimi siwezi sema ya kwamba to elect a leader that wanatupresent. Kitu ya kwanza mimi ningeonelea to work under katiba ya Kenya. Kuna mtu amerezi issue ya tunapotengeneza channel ya present leaders. I can't believe in leaders cause na pia kumekuwa na story ya kutengeneza party ya Gen Z. That is not right to me because hata tukitengeneza hiyo party unajua itakuwa in a way that sasa ni politics, and as we said that Gen Z is unpolitical and we did need politics. To me, even a place where I'm coming from, my leader, MCA area, is a Gen Z. But that guy is not working. It's not taking accountability. So to say that we need to elect Gen Z leaders, it's not mean that now ati vitu zitakuwa zina run poa. My point is this. We need to speak, kuweka government alert through kwa group kama hizi za space. Kila mtu akuwe ni kiongozi. Nasema hivyo. Why am I saying this? Kuna vitu mingi zimehappen sana. Is a time Ababu Namwamba used to be a minister of sport. Alikuwa kijana, hakuwa mzee. alikuwa na scandal ya kupotea na pesa za sport. Hakuna mtu alikuwa accountability kutafuta venye hizo pesa zilipotea. And many sectors that vijana pia wamekuwa wakihold. So mine is that sisi tutakuwa tunasema ya kwamba ni kama niyo IBC tunataka ikue itengenezwe. Sisi tunaongea sauti moja, tunaongea kitu moja, tunasema tunataka IBC. Kama ni sekta ya afya.
Kelvin. So mukisema IBC tengenezwe, inatengenezwa na kina nani huko ndani? Nyinyi hamtakuwa?
Sisi ndo tunafaa tupush kama sisi. Sisi wote tunafaa tupush kama Kenya.
Mupush nini? Mupush kuingia huko ndani, because if you want anything changed, you have to change it yourself. You're not going to tell people to change for you. And Kelvin, you need to understand the reason why we've had ODM and UDA becoming very strong is because of the same reason Gen Z are running away from.
Yeah,
because sasa unapiga makelele, unapigia nani? Unaambia nani ya change situation yako? Si wewe unafaa change ya situation yako.
Nasema sisi wote, sisi nikiwa mmoja wao.
Lakini mechanism ni gani? Na una ODM na una nini? You have no channels to agitate for this change that you want, because you can scream all you want, lakini mtaenda kwa streets kungapi?
Can you ask you a question?
Ask me a question. I like questions. Uliza kabisa.
So swali ya kwanza nauliza hivi, tumekuwa na ODM, tumekuwa na Jubilee, tumekuwa na Kenya, and they have been having strong leaders. Wamefanya nini ku make sure history ya IBC vitu zimekuwa settled na wamekuwa watu wanafanya kazi na transparent way? Wamefanya nini?
But Kelvin, ngoja, don't ask and answer the question.
Okay.
Has when Kelvin, you know about Raila Odinga? Has Raila Odinga benefited in the last 30-40 years from the government or from being an opposition leader? Yes or no?
Yes.
Has James Orengo benefited?
Yes.
So all these people who are agitating for change when it was their Gen Z moment have all benefited?
No.
Who has not benefited?
Many.
No, I gave you names. Give me names, bro. I gave you names. Give me names. Because what I'm trying to tell you is this: whatever it is you're running away from is what you should be running towards. Because now you have the power and you have the numbers. These numbers are the ones which now you can take in one basket and say, with these numbers, I need this change. Unaelewa?
So, nakuelewa. Nakuelewa. So mimi nilikuwa nasema, I think mimi nilikuwa nasema kwamba tukiongea ina large number, I think your message inakuwa understandable kuliko kusema tuta present 2 leaders ama 3, because they will go there with their own interest. That's why
no, you're missing the point. It's always going to be one leader. It's always going to be one guy. It's always going to be one guy who is giving instructions and everybody follows. That's why it made sense when it was Raila. When it became Ruto, it made sense. It's always going to be that one guy. And hold up, Kelvin, just 1 second. Just mute your mic for a second. I wanted to respond to a message here.
Yes.
Okay, just mute your mic. I'll come back to you.
Thank you.
All right. So there's this guy says Kibe, or his name is Edwin the Pionierist, says Kibe is playing this movement to position himself as Gen Z leader. Do not be fooled. He's manipulating this wave for political power. Wairimo Mariam keeps focusing on leadership because he wants to be the supreme leader. He hates when other people appear to be the leaders. Okay? Rigathi says, you are on point. He lost the clout. He once openly said he had a prize sellout who you. Kibe will throw, now this is Edwin, says Kibe will throw everyone under the bus for money, power, and fame. This movement is better off without a leader. You are here? Are you hearing the statement of without a leader? Leaders will come organically. Such manipulative, mischievous, self-proclaimed leaders will destroy this movement for their own selfish interest. If you cannot agree even about leadership, even something as simple as leadership, because anyone who presents themselves, you're going to go into their files and look at one thing they say that they on this and this day, and then come and say, oh, wait a minute. Don't you know this guy is that guy? Don't you know he's that guy? You are not presenting yourself, Edwin. No, you're not here presenting yourself saying, here I am, I'm standing in the gap and I want to be that guy. No, you're just waiting. As soon as somebody presents themselves, kill that motherfucker. It is completely ridiculous. It is completely ridiculous. Like now, if you go to a home where there is no real leadership, you'll see how that home disintegrates into chaos. Where there's a strong man in the house, that family is a strong family. Because that man, he rules with strength. That is what you're afraid of, Gen Z. You're afraid of strength. That's why you guys are coming together to kill anybody. Because for you individually, you're not strong. Which is what you should be fighting to be. You should be fighting to be strong as individuals. Not in the power of you coming together quickly to destroy. That's not a good power. It's very dangerous power. And that is what is being used now by the leaders of all other institutions to come in and get that power and take it and use it to destroy. And not just destroy. Use it so that they can shake down somebody. So the power that you have is a power for the shakedown. And now you guys, every time somebody comes in and says, oh, we need to cancel this person. He says, yes, let's cancel them. You don't know whether that motherfucker has been paid to go cancel that company or that person. So you are going to help cancel, but you are the product. This person goes out there and says, hey, by the way, JN, you guys can cancel anybody. I can make anybody rise or fall. All you have to give me is 200K. All right, let's move it along, and let's be very brief about it. Government pathologies, what do you have to say? I'll come to all of you. I'll give you a minute each to just close it out.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Give us your submission.
Okay, my name is Leonard Ombuna. Yeah, and what I have to say is that I think this whole government is all a mess for me, because they are free failed us, and what we don't have to tell them what they are supposed to do, because wakati walisema wanaingia huko walikuwa na manifesto. Sasa wanakuja kutuuliza what are we supposed to do. I think for UDA kuna mtu aliiba manifesto yao, na huyo mtu anafaa arudishie. So if they have not done what they did in the manifesto, I think they have failed. And what I can all say is that we can use our numbers to change this. I think we need a change. If they cannot deliver what they promised, and they have failed to deliver that, so that's the change we need. Yeah, we need to use our mobilization where we come from. I think we need to tell people this is what you are supposed to do. We need to mobilize people by using our numbers, whether it is online, whether it is where I come from. Like me, I can go and tell those who are at home, this is what you are supposed to do, this what supposed to be done for us to change the situation we are currently right now. And let's all not be fooled. I think for us to change this system, I think those 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 who are in government, I think everybody now is in government, whether it's on opposition or whether it is in UDA, they are all in government. They have been given those elective positions to lead us. For they have I think Ruto, he has been in government all along since he was an MP, and he knows everything what has been happening. Eh? I don't know why he's afraid of doing what is right. Mm. We need to change and mobilize people from the way we have started now. Mm. Let's go and tell them this is what is supposed to be done. And if somebody comes and wants uh, an elective position, we are supposed to sit down with that person, and he or she should tell us what he is going to deliver. From from that, we are able to select whether it's the right person to lead us, or whether it's the wrong person to lead us. I think for the government, for Ruto, what he failed all along when he elected those cabinet ministers, he failed because they are all people. They were rejected from elective positions. If you see the whole cabinet, I think from the CS of Education, he was rejected from being a governor in CC. He was elected to be, Ruto chose him to be a CS for Education. If you see Medical Inturi, he was rejected from Meru. If you see Moses Kuria, he was rejected from, I think, from Kiambu. Yeah. So if you see those all of them, they were rejected from Kipchumba Murkomen. They were rejected by the people. So going forward, we should say that if you have campaigned for something and you have failed to deliver, and the people have rejected you, you are not supposed to go and be elected to hold such PS seat, eh, cabinet, be a cabinet secretary, be chosen by the government, by the president to lead a certain ministry. I think that's what it is failing us. Eh. People were rejected from the ballot, and the president goes on along through parliament. This is what has been happening. So the whole government is all a mess, and we are supposed to clean it. If it's not right now, by 2027, we should be able to clean the whole government. And let us not be fooled by the opposition that they are campaigning for the rights of Gen Z. They are
Maliza bro,
all
maliza
in
maliza.
one thing. Yeah, they are the same. These people are the same. Yeah, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, government pathologist. Who else is here? Ismail.
Yes, Nyajieni watu wangu.
What's up?
Good. Keep brilliant things that's going on. And the other day we said that utakuja kuipiwa, and we saw what happened. But anyway, there is something that I think for the last two discussions on the space, with the discussions of what people are holding, that were coming up, and the ladies were mostly the ladies who are suggesting that we need to have a political formation, whereby we need to have a political party. So I wanted to at least inform the Gen Zs also much as a millennial, to less down our total, but we need to inform them much on the political party aspect of it, whereby kuna mtu mmoja anaitwa registrar of political parties. If you remember, before the last general elections, kulikuwa na parties that came into being active, and on the registrar of political parties, we find that kulikuwa na people who were registered on the political parties without their consent. We uja apply, but unakuja kuna hiyo namba watu walikuwa na dial. If I remember that you check if you're registered with the political party, it was *509#, whereby they say it's free, but then you see the party that you are registered under. People's details were taken from, I don't know, the IEBC portals or whatever, that people registered as a voter, and then they were placed in political parties. Now these political parties, as we know them, ni cash cows for so many politicians. Yeah, there are people who have been in this game for a very long time, and that has been a cash cow because there is a budget that's given to them, to the political parties. Now you find that if we say today that we are forming a formidable force under a political party, already the way Gloria and the team was suggesting, that thing was just so brilliant, because how I say already a step ahead to that, know that when you actually by wengine hapo, they will come up with others also to register a parallel political party whereby they'll use the same Gen Z narrative, but in the back of it, kuna watu wanaipush. The manufacture that political parties thrive under also, or somebody being a sponsor behind it, you find that these politicians, long season politicians, were in the game. They have the money. So getting some Gen Zs and getting some millennials and then pushing an agenda that this is a political party, we are fronting this, at the end of the day, you come to find that one is a tingisha hiyo momentum. But if we stick to a political party and we say we are forming a political party, we deregister ourselves from the political parties that legally or illegally registered us, most of us under them. That is a say. That's a statement. And nobody can run away from that. But the manipulation that I have been doing before is that you, as a person, you know that you don't belong to any political party. Maybe you're an independent-minded person. And then you find out, kumbe, there's a political party that already has all your details, like it's registered that we're under that party. So many people were shocked last general election because they come to find that uko registered kwa parties zingine hazijulikani, zingine big parties. So we need to switch off, and then we switch on ourselves. You check on the status of the political party. There's a process where you resign from. If you are illegally registered under another political party, you can resign from that. You can write to the registrar. You can do it online. You can do it manually. Also, visiting every county has an office. You can visit them. Deregister yourselves. Number one, if you are registered under them, then make sure that you don't belong to any political party. When this party is registered as a big formation now, as a step forward, then we wholesomely come together and then register under that political party. The rest of the structures and everything will come to action. But in the formation of political parties, we know the things that go under it. Am I making any sense?
Perfect.
Kibe, uko area?
Niko area, I just didn't have anything else to add to that. I think you explained it quite well, because you seem to have some knowledge about it. And so I did not counter it. But I also see if you say anything that goes contrary to what everybody, at least the leaders, are saying, then you're going to be targeted. And now you'll be targeted for extinction. You've seen how these guys have weaponized the Gen Z movement, that they can now use it to target anybody who goes contrary to their opinion. Have you seen that shit?
Yes.
So if today you even if you talk about a good thing and say, okay, we need to do this, because now you're giving the structure and saying we're going in this direction. And then if somebody doesn't like you for one reason or the other, they can cancel that whole movement just based on that. Imagine that.
Yes, but Ikitu, we need to give ourselves selflessly, as in, it doesn't have to benefit me personally. I don't have to be a leader to gain from this. No. As long as Kenya gains, this is for our country. The manipulation that walipataje this data from our from
mimi sitaki kuongeza hizo details, because hizo details hazikuangi accurate. So let's move away from the details, and that's what I was saying even earlier. Let's move away from the issues and let's focus on the people who are going to handle the issues. That's all I wanted to discuss today. So hii data wameenda wakachukua IBC ama wakachukua kwa M-Pesa, that's a whole new investigation and conversation that needs to be run by somebody like you, Ismail. Are you seeing what I'm saying?
Yes. And we can put them to contact.
Exactly, but it has to be multifaceted. And that's why I keep insisting we need to have these people who chase after whatever it is that is going wrong with the country. It cannot be all of us screaming. It has to be, we have to be very targeted. Ismail has to be the one who goes against who goes for the register. He has to be the one to find out that this register is not being used or manipulated in the wrong way. Right? But not all of us can do that, Ismail, can we? Not all of us even have the interest, the knowledge, or the know-how.
Yes. Mchezo wa town kuna venye inachezwa.
So kila mtu acheze ile game anacheza. Everybody play the position that you're put in. Kama wewe ni defender, cheza kidefender. Lakini hatuwezi insist ati defender akuje tena akuwe striker. It doesn't matter how much we like that defender. And then,
but the most beautiful Gen Z is that kwanza kuna block, a big block that may come into action for the last 5 years ambayo watakuwa wakijoin, and then kuna a group that are coming up also wanaingia kwa hiyo bracket still. That's a force. Add to the millennials to say we are backing up the Gen Zs, and as we are in one, what happens? But the trust issues have to be established. People have to trust each other to go ahead with this.
There we go. All right. Thank you, Ismail. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Everyone. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, and just like I do in my businesses, when I find somebody who has ideas, somebody comes and says, "Hey, Kibe, you need to think about doing this and this and this." I tell them, "Is this something that you can handle?" No. Then don't make me your slave. It's a good idea, yes. Is it something you can handle? No, you can't handle it. Okay, then what you're doing is just adding to the graveyard of ideas. That's all you're doing. Another idea that is going to die. Just put it here, put it on top of Andrew Kibe and see it. Watch it wither away. We cannot be like that. All right, Benjamin has not spoken. Benjamin Kubo, are you there?
Hi,
what's
Kibe.
up, bro?
Can you hear
go
me?
ahead. You have a minute to give us your explanation.
Oh, okay. I just came across this and I thought best to speak. I think of which first I need to load the Gen Z, I being a millennial, the fact that they actually went out there, exercised their democratic right as enshrined by the Constitution. I want to more so speak from a legal professional experience space, whereby I would like to say that a lot that has been shared is immensely important. I think with every generation, every set of generation, it's important that we tend to internalize whatever we are going through. And because of the Constitution 2010, it's important that we actually be able to express it, so that at least we can be able to actually make changes to the divergent views and the dynamics of basically the political, socio-economic environment that we live in. But more so, I think I need to quote Che Guevara. I think that's what I would like to really point out. He once said that the true revolutionary is guided by a great feeling of love. It is impossible to think of a genuine revolutionary lacking this quality. I believe the current government was elected. Some of us voted for it in. So we need to appreciate the fact that the rule of law exists. I really want to also laud the fact that yesterday was marked the commemoration of Sabasaba, and the festival that underwent at Uhuru Park was so peaceful. Everyone heard about it. The whole world saw it. So now I need to really bring out the fact that we are an educated society, whereby as much as we express our views, as much as there were goons who took over the freedom of expression, let us not mar the successes as much as the failures are still there. I wish there was someone who could have spoken about the interview with the interview on Saturday. The interview on Saturday with the Economist on Citizen. I wish the people who would have listened in, the issues of this economy, our Kenyan economy, basically stem from years back. They have not been brought back by, by the current government. So of which I really appreciate our president, when he came out and said that he's going to listen to the Gen Z and basically the larger Kenyan people, I think now what we need to actually move forward to is he has made changes. We need to appreciate that. Now, what will be the predicament of these changes? So I think that is where the conversation needs to start. So I believe the Gen Zs or any other person who feels part of that group, we need to come up with, we need to choose among ourselves persons who actually can be able to decipher I think the predicaments of these new changes to this finance bill. We are a country ruled by law. We need to step forward into a progressive and developed country. So now there are changes. We should live with under the perimeters of the Constitution. We went through a referendum, we voted for it. So now this has been tabled. I've not heard people talking about it. So I think even if I speak, I'm speaking from a point of a post-conventional person and thinker. Because now, if there are these kinkers of the past, and now there's a burden placed on this government, and now we've risen up and said, no, we will not be silent because we cannot, predispose, yes, that this falls, that falls, there should be this bill, and then we move forward. So now there is a conversation. So basically, there are changes. So we need to basically come up with people who understand what the economics, the science of economics is all about. The science of policy is all about. The science of governance is all about. So that now this can be made a conversation, maybe put up in a layman's language so that everyone can understand. The same way it was published throughout on issues concerning the finance bill, the then finance bill. I think from there we can actually look forward to what exactly we need to solve. Because even as I quote Che Guevara, the incidences of Argentina, him being a revolutionary, it's an irony because right now even Argentina is facing an hyperinflation. But to be honest, their GDP is quite better than ours. So you see, at the end of the day, the issue is, yes, there might be issues of inflation, but then we need to look at issues of growth. So the issues of these loans, at the moment, probably we might need some of these loans. Now, the explanation needs to be better explained to the rest of us. Why do we need these loans? So for the person who does not understand, the explanation needs to be broken down so that we understand that this is a post-independence crisis. It is not something that was enshrined the other day. Well, so that I don't take time for others, let me also speak about the opulence. I think the anger comes in when now we understand that we are facing hard economic times. I think the most important thing is to understand that it's not easy for a person who has basically shaped the image of what he wants to do, the persons he wants to parade in order to achieve these successes. The president mentioned that, and I'm not even a government employee or in any way associated, but then the president said he will soon make that decision. I think what we need to first of all understand is we need to understand he gave a standing on his amendments. We need to come out clear and understand what is the effect of those amendments. Yes, the Law Society of Kenya mentioned that there's an audit. There's a conversation also going on in court. So we need to wait for that. Then at the end of the day, basically we need to understand that we need to have people who can come back down, explain to the Gen Z, basically this is the reality. I think that's the whole important aspect to speak about, because to come back to the reality of Mondays should be to come back to the reality of we are now an independent and democratic nation. So what went bad? What fucked up? Thank you, Kibe.
All right. Thank you, Benjamin, for that submission. Gloria, do you have anything you want to say? You have a minute.
Okay, in conclusion, I keep insisting all of us can make a change in our own individual ways. So find something you can do, make this government accountable. As for us, I don't know, picking leaders, Gen Z picking leaders, I keep repeating that they are here. Even in this space, Andrew, that you are hosting, they are here. I see this Shadi everywhere. So government people are here, whether they're in IS, whatever, they're collecting information. So they can take it to the president and tell him what our demands are. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Gloria. Gloria says they are listening and they will take it upon themselves to be so kind as to take your issues one by one and sit the president down to make sure that your issues are sorted. Wonderful. Wow, very proactive. JN, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Give me your final submission, Joe.
Sure. So my thing is this, finally, all said and done is, I think that us as guys should front one person, and who I think is you. It's gonna be you in all words. It's gonna be you. So I'm thinking maybe the conversation should be steered about handling now you. How people will handle you maybe. Pole kukupeleka huko lakini.
JN is a funny guy. Funny guy. Thank you, JN, for the vote of confidence. I'm not shy about being a leader. No, I've never been shy. It's not something that I back off at now. I'm going to be threatened with being a leader. No. Hey, if people want me to lead, I will lead. I know I'm the best person for the job. I know that. I know I'm the most integrous person that is out there in the streets. I know that. I have not just done that, I've proven myself over the last, since 2016. So it's not something to be ashamed of. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Let's get rid of the stigma of wanting to be the one who makes the decisions. That's what I would want. So I'm not sneaking into it. No, I'm placing the cards on the table. Everybody is seeing it. The cards are on the table. There's an opportunity here. The best person for the job should get it. Simple. In fact, I would be happy to even see someone like that fat girl Gairo being the de facto leader, or the leader himself. The person I would have a problem with is someone like Miguna. But even Boniface Mwangi was to get it. What's the big deal? As long as there's somebody who is willing to put their life on the line, that's the person you go with. As long as somebody is willing to put their life on the line, because accountability, they'll be accountable to the movement. The same way ODM MPs are accountable to the to ODM. UDA MPs are accountable to UDA. They told you the same during the finance bill voting. They told you we cannot vote for the people. No, we vote for the party. So even the Gen Z now, once we, and we even sort of, I don't know, maybe you can still call it Gen Z, but even that party is going to hold its party members accountable. So that when you're sent out there to do a job, you do the job you've been sent to do. Now, if you don't do it, the party holds you accountable. You heard Sifuna saying, we're going to have to discipline some of our members who went contrary to the party position. This is just politics. The better you are, like now Sifuna, what do we know about Sifuna? Nothing. But when Sifuna stands on the floor of the House, he's able to debate and he's able to get his way. It is extremely important that we have the right people pushing the agenda. And not just that, the people who are willing. That willingness is something, you cannot get reluctant at the heroes here. This is not Hollywood. All right, thank you, Jayan. Geoff Mangi, what's up? All right, Geoff Mangi is still.
That's the most. What's crack-a-lacking, bro?
What's happening, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I saw your uploads on Patreon. Keep them coming. We are following the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I saw One lady here said, end out with your president. You address our issues. Anyway, enjoy your rest of your day. I don't have much to say. But for the leader needs, we need a leader. The whole movement needs a face and a person to lead it. Yeah, we can't just be roaming around endlessly and without any direction. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Geoff. Thank you for coming through. Geoff always comes through and gives me good vibes. Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Sunday, Geoff.
Good vibes. You started this whole space thing, and this is the motherfucking things you get.
Yeah, that was like a stab in the back, eh? If you think about it.
Yeah. Because hosting the president, we talked about that thing long time ago. I think 2020, before you even left.
But
we had.
But Geoff.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I know to sound like a victim, but I've just thought about it. I'm like, hey, you guy. They didn't even come to my inbox, my guy.
Because everything that's happening now, we had already spoke about it. The spread.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything we had said, everything. What's happening now, we had already talked about it before you left US. You remember, right? So it's just prophecy.
Prophecy. Why? Thank you, Geoff. I'm trying to close this as quickly as possible.
Baraka.
Thank you for coming through. All right, Dr. Lucy, are you there? Dr. Lucy.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like us to look at it, this movement, and I'd like that we get back to what we are trying to achieve as Kenyans. Right now, we've been concentrating on the national government. We've been trying to put the government into, to put them into a position of accountability, transparency, and so forth. And this is appreciated, especially given that the conversation is being driven by the Gen Zs and the younger people. But the thing is, and now I'm going to look at it as a teacher. If as a teacher, I tried to push some agenda from the Ministry of Education's level, and at my classroom level, I'm not doing anything to improve the way I'm teaching, then in as much as the policy and everything will change at the ministry level, if I'm not doing the basic groundwork, then the agitation will yield very little. What am I driving at? Is that we also need to push, we need to agitate, we need to push for transparency and change and everything that we've been doing at the county assembly level. Like now, for instance, we've been talking about finance bill, that is the national finance bill. We've been talking about appropriation bill. We've been looking at the budgeting process. And at the same time, right now, we have the counties the counties have already drawn their budgets, they've already drawn their finance bill, they've already drawn the appropriation bills. The question is, do we really know what is happening at county level? Do we really know the kind of debates that are happening at the county assemblies? Do we know the development policies and infrastructural expansion projects or social structures? Do we know what is happening at county level, what the MCAs are debating about and so forth? Every year, the national government allocates some money, in as much as it's a small percentage, as small as 25% of the national budget, they allocate every county some money, like 10 billion and so forth. Do you know how that particular money that is allocated to our county is used? Do we ask our MCAs how it is used? So the thing is, we might have very bad roads within our counties. We have the rural roads and so forth. And we have even estate roads, Barcelona, Nairobi, and so forth. tuko na mabarabara mbali huko mtaani, tuko na vitu hazieleweki, you know, kuna student kids feeding programs that are supposed to be run by the county governments. We have ECD programs, we have devolved functions that are supposed to be taken over by the counties. Yet sometimes these services that are supposed to be under the counties are done so poorly that we blame the national government and we do not hold the county government accountable. So what I feel that we should, the way forward, now we are looking at realistically, we want change, and I'm so happy that we've seen that agitation actually does produce results. So the next thing is we go to the ground to jiulize, okay, yes, tuna the high level, yes, tuna put into accountability, tunafanya nini, but at the same time, are we asking our MCAs, the local leaders, are we asking them, are they delivering for us the local services that are devolved? You know, and that's what I wanted to contribute today, that yes, we want to put the national government on you know, on accountability seat and on the hot seat and ask them questions. We also need, very, very much so, because that tunasema occupy MOH, Minister of Health. Health is a devolved function. So the people we should be asking, in as much as we want to go to Ministry of Health, remember that we have CC of Health in our counties. And the doctors are supposed to be paid by the counties. It is not by the national government. So these issues, now this is for us to start thinking, but lata kuangalia National Assembly, tunaweza enda kwa county assembly tuulize hizi maswali. Tunaweza walk, tunaweza march to the our MCAs and ask them questions. We can even, you know, we have realized as Kenyans, we have power, we have a voice, and we can ask for accountability from our local leaders as much as we ask them from our national leaders. Thank you, Andrew Kibe.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lucy. Msema kweli, are you there?
Niko hapa, mnasikia?
Kabisa, go ahead.
Nimekuwa nikisikiza hii debate kwa hii mtandao, lakini one of the thing I think history of leadership is it's premature. Kwa sababu so far the protest imeendelea bila, you know, any like conspicuous leadership, lakini obviously imekuwa ikiendelea juu there's leadership at many levels, you know. Everybody that's doing something is, you know, the leader. Everybody is a leader right now. Over time, leaders will emerge. You know, realistically, to the best of my knowledge, we are talking about 2027 to change over. Lakini sahi, we know we have an incompetent and corrupt governor. Kwa hivyo kazi yetu ni kuemulika, start making plans, vitu kaa hizo. While it's maybe well intended that the leader sahi, you know, hakuna kitu imesimama. Nothing has changed. So leaders will emerge. So kwa hivyo hii kushida tuki-insist, oh, leader, I think it's a waste of time right now. I think it's better to be more constructive and talk about the road ahead. Badala ya because on the other hand, the protesters wamesema hawako leaderless sahi. So hii ni kiburi kufikiria ati we know better ati leaders ati ndio who are required right now. So the same way Ruto ana kiburi mingi anafikiria ati he knows better than everybody else. It's kind of the same attitude here, leader sahi. So let's get to the program to skiza vile the protesters who are putting their lives on the line wanasema, and then figure out how to support their protest.
Doesn't make any sense to me, but I'll allow you to sleep with that one. It doesn't make any sense to me because at some point somebody has to be the one to come up with the idea. Simple as that. Somebody has to be the one to say Tuesday ndio tunaenda tao, Wednesday tutakuwa hapa, Thursday tutafanya hivi. Huyo sasa ndio leader sasa. Huyo ndio anapeleka mbele. But thank you, man. Thank you, Msema Kweli. Leroy, close this up for us, man. I've been here for too long. I don't want to be running these long spaces. I realized short or long, it doesn't make a difference. Once somebody has latched onto an idea, there's no getting them out of it. So Leroy, are you still here?
I love that statement that umeweka hapo mwisho. Once somebody has clinged on to an idea, you can't get them out of it. That's exactly what has been happening 2 weeks straight. But nimesikia, let me again call you this honorable name, Mheshimiwa Mwanguki. People are ready now to give you a seat. They don't want you to remain Mheshimiwa Mwanguki forever. We are ready for you to lead us. But again, let's not forget, in Kenya, politics, we have made it for the longest time a career. We have made it a career. So, you meditate on it. Politics in Kenya is a career, and that's how it's going to be. Na Kibe, wewe umetunyima show ya jioni. Do you think we don't love listening to Deputize? We haven't missed Deputize. Sasa ungekuwa umetoa wasanika, so imagine the music that what is it called? The music challenge. God damn it. Let's go back to it, kid. That's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Leroy. Thank you for closing this out for me. Yeah. A lot of things need to be done. A lot of things have been said, and it's up to us to decide what it is that is best for you. For me, I have nothing but complete love for the Gen Z. I have worked with the Gen Z for the longest time. When I started, I'll tell you, when I started doing my content, I thought I would be talking to my age mates. So I really went hard on my age mates' content, and the people who gravitated towards my content were the Gen Zs. And I'm like, hey, but I'm not talking to you guys. So when I landed in the state, that's when I reviewed all my, all my analytics, and I was like, shit, actually the people who listen to me are the Gen Z, and I curated the content for Gen Z. So I'm not speaking like an outsider, and I'm not speaking like somebody who's trying to weasel himself in. No, I'm speaking as somebody who has been in there. When all this, because we have done a lot of work. Lero, you probably know this. We've done a lot of work for us to get to where we are today as men. We have fixed our lives, we have focused, we have done all these good things for ourselves. And all these good things are translating even in your community. When a man becomes a man, everything around you changes. So the work has been done. I just don't want you to operate from a point of fear. Do not operate from a point of fear. And there's not only one position. The cake is so huge that right now we need to be thinking about how Amerix, Boniface Mwangi, and the rest can sit down on one table and chart the way forward without fear, without repeating the fear mongering all the time. No, we need to. All these people who came together, including that Osama and the rest, they need to sit down on one table and now come up with the agenda. This is the agenda. Now that's where the power really is, not this infighting amongst all these leaders, or so-called leaders. The power is when the people have one bag and they can say, this bag of people are all thinking one way. Oh, that is powerful. You'll be able to change anything in this country. Bro, ministers will be hearing about you guys, they shake. Somebody will be thinking of taking a bribe. They are like, no, not if those motherfuckers are that organized. You have an opportunity here to do great things. But I see let me tell you where I see myself. I see myself as a transitional authority, so to speak. Yeah, like an oversight transitional authority, so to speak. That's where I see myself. Not the leader, not the person who's giving the instructions. No. You will be able to choose that for yourselves maybe when it comes to the elections. But there is going to be needed a transitional authority that sets structures in place where the Gen Z can now come in and thrive. Because we have to all to work together. It doesn't matter what you think. We all must work together. And it has to be a coalition of the willing. It has to be the people who are willing to work together. Those are the ones you work with. And the fact that now the Gen Z and the people of the flats have woken up, now when we put these structures in place, then it will be easy for them to be able to jump on it and go run with it. So yes, a lot of opportunities are in the offing, and it's nothing to fear. And it's time to go back to reality. With that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Do have yourself a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. Do something I wouldn't do. And do not operate from a point of fear. Never, ever. Because that fear is going to make decisions for you. Operate from a point of interest, from a point of confidence, but not from a point of fear. Rosio?
This is The Morning Show with Andrew Kibe every Monday to Friday, only on